Hey everyone, this is the Upstate Prepper coming to you. It's October 22nd. Nice fall day here in upstate New York. We are in the midst of several different things that are going on, both home and abroad. We're going to go over a few of them here today. Please give me some comments underneath the video, what you think about what's going on. There's a lot to talk about today, guys. At home, of course, everything is about impeachment. Impeach Trump, impeach Trump, impeach Trump. That is consuming the news, the mainstream media. Obviously, that is they're complicit with the deep state, CIA. All mainstream media has CIA operatives in their organizations. New York Times, Washington Post, Chicago Tribune, or the TV networks, the news networks. There's CIA operatives all throughout the media, keeping track of what's going on. And it's gone from keeping track to dictating what's going on, I think. The mainstream media is complicit with the anti-Trump movement, and that's not going to change. And when Trump's gone, the next Republican or conservative or libertarian to come running around the block is going to get the same treatment. Same exact thing's going to happen to them. So this isn't really exclusively to a Trump thing. Look what they tried to do to Kavanaugh with complete lies about something that supposedly happened when he was in high school. So that is the main thing happening here at home, with the exception of there's a lot of chatter on the internet about November 3rd. Possibly a false flag event, possibly in Seattle. Unknown what could be going on. I do know there's a big football game on November 3rd, the Rams against the Seahawks. That's going to be a big game with a sold-out crowd. That stadium should be filled to capacity. Now, how that fits into the equation, I don't know. But there has been some leaks about this date, November 3rd, and then leading on to the West Coast, Seattle, possibly the big one, possibly large earthquake on the San Andreas Fault. Now there's talk about radioactive earthquakes. There's some really crazy things happening to keep your eyes out for. I would say we are growing ever closer to some sort of main event happening to SHTF. To put it point blank, we're working on it. The economic situation in the country, the stock markets are not doing well. They're not doing well. Those are set probably to collapse, take a major fall, either before this year ends or in the beginning of 2020. One of the two. Trump can't hold it off forever, which is what he's doing now. He is doing everything he can to keep that stock market going, and at bare minimum, losing slightly. Keeping pace, maybe a little loss, coming up a little bit, looking relatively normal. I don't think that's going to stay that way. The indicators are just not showing it. And the indicators are generally right as far as how the health of the stock market, how it's doing, where it's going. It's showing the same indicators as it has in previous collapses, 2008, 1929. In fact, it's even worse than 1929, the indicators. So that's on the horizon. The central banks are talking about needing a $20 trillion loan from the United States government. Now, I don't know how we would ever pull that off, considering that's almost as much as the national debt, which is approaching 24 trillion as of right now. People don't understand how big of a deal this is. Sooner or later, this money is going to come due. People are going to want to get paid back more than just the interest. As of right now, I think we can't even make the interest payments for the money that is owed. We have to borrow more money every single year just to make the payments, which is what happens when you have a country that takes in a little over $3 trillion. We'll just say $3 trillion per year, as far as taxes, importing, exporting, trade tariffs, this, that, the other thing. All the money that the government gets, put it in a pool, it's about $3 trillion. The problem is we spend about $5 trillion per year. So at the rate we're going, we're dumping or adding about $2 trillion of debt per year, every single year. And that's at the current rates. Obviously, future rates probably going to go up and increase on a yearly basis even more if we don't do something about it. So the financial system as a whole is not looking good. Those debts are going to have to get paid. The banking system is getting daily bailouts from the federal government to the tune of 80 to over $100 billion a day. Basically, the way it works is at night, banks do their calculations, and sometimes a bank doesn't have enough money to cover all their obligations. So what happens is they call up, Bank A calls up Bank B and says, hey, I need to borrow $5 billion overnight, but we'll pay it back tomorrow morning after we get open and things are running. I just need that to cover everything for the night. And that's common practice, which is something that I just learned myself, but this is common practice throughout the banking industry. Well, what's happening is banks are starting to say no to each other. Bank A calls Bank B. Bank B says, no, I don't have it to give to you either. I need it so that I can stay afloat for the night. So there's been bailouts going on, flooding the banking system with money at night to keep that afloat. So we're in bad shape. We really are. Hope you have some silver. Hope you have some gold or something, because it's not looking good for the economy whatsoever. It looks like a complete crash is going to be inevitably in our future. Now, when exactly, I don't know. It's a prediction of mine. It's just my opinion. Within the next 6 months. Other people may say other things. Whether it's 6 months or 3 years, it's still going to happen. Actually, it's better if it is in 3 years. It gives you a lot more time to prepare. 6 months, you're starting to run out of time. If you don't have some things going for you right now, you're in trouble. And you are going to be in trouble when the lights get turned off. Because that is ultimately what will probably happen. They will need to shut the power off to stop the hemorrhaging, and try to make some corrections. How long, whether it's by an EMP, CME, nuclear war, I don't know, but some sort of something's going to happen, probably to take the power out. A hack from some foreign nation, that could easily happen. The grid's been hacked several times already. It's even been reported a good shot from a rifle, at the right place, which I don't know what those places are, but whatever the right places are, to a handful of transformers here and there, could take out the entire network completely. and they would have a hard time figuring out how to get that back running. Abroad, we have imminent war in front of us with Iran. That's just, I don't know how to be more clear about it. It's like looking in the mirror, staring yourself back in the face. It couldn't be more clear that that's what we're working towards. We are moving troops in the area by the thousands. Many thousands of troops are already over in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia. We're going back into Iraq, in Afghanistan. Yeah, we're coming out of Syria, but trust me, those troops aren't going far. They're not going far, and there wasn't that many in Syria to begin with, but we'll get to that in a moment. But things are set to unfold with Iran. That is the deep states, one of the 7 countries that they wanted to more or less take over, put an end to, get under domination. That has not been achieved yet. We were looking at Libya, Egypt, Syria. Now Libya completed. Egypt was completed, but we lost that. The military took back over, and Egypt was lost by the deep state. Syria, that didn't work out at all. Iraq, that's the 4th country. Well, we all know what happened there. Lebanon, we haven't really done anything with Lebanon yet, but that's probably in the plans for Israel to take care of with Hezbollah, or take care of that right along with Iran. So that's 5. Afghanistan was 6, and Iran was 7, with an honorable mention to North Korea. So we're still looking to take the deep state, not we, the deep state is still looking to take care of business with Iran, and it seems very likely that they are going to do that with or without Trump. They're gonna, if Trump doesn't go along with it, they're going to make it happen one way or another, and that's exactly what they're doing as of right now. They're just working to make it happen. With that, there's always the possible involvement of Russia, of China. China doesn't want a whole lot of problems in the Middle East. They want to build their new Silk Road. They want some economic stability and political stabilities because they want trade. So involvement there, very likely. Saudi Arabia, obviously, they're in lines. That's probably how this is going to start. Saudi Arabia, Iran, Israel. It's a complete boiling point over in the Middle East right now, and it has been in the past, but we are really pushing it as of right now. All the attacks on oil tankers, attacks on oil fields, hijacking of oil tankers. There's just a lot going on over there that says, hey guys, you better look out because the deep state's fixing to go to war soon, real soon. China's involvement, like I said, that coupled with the trade war that's going on now with the tariffs and such, that could be Hong Kong, that could become a big deal, dealing with China. So what it really comes down to is, are you ready for SHTF? Food, water, medical, shelter, clothing, protection, self-protection, and big thing, a plan. Are you ready for what's coming? Because it's coming. Are you ready? That's my question for you. And if you're not, what are you going to do about it? Watch this video and videos like it and say, geez, that's a good video, but, and don't do anything about it, or you're going to get on the ball. Because if you don't have some food and water stocked up, and I'm not talking a week's worth, I'm talking several weeks worth, you're behind the 8 ball already. That's the very first thing you need to take care of. is you need to go figure something out for water and food. And I'll get back to you on another video about that. But you need to take care of these things. Where I'm at, we're approaching wintertime. Losing power now would not be a great thing. It's getting cold out. And at night, it's very cold. So, are you ready? That's the question. This is the Upstate Prepper. This has been a talk from the car. And we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.